Go.
Hey, everybody.
It's all y'all.
Welcome to PDQ Live. I'm glad that the intro will be cut out from this one. Today is PDQ A because it was Patch Tuesday.
Yep.
And that's when we do PDQ A. Although I don't think that's... I say that at every intro now. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think we're trying to do it every other month now. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't matter. We're here now.
That's correct. We're here now.
So we have some questions that got early. And I'll be honest, I'm going to crush them.
Obviously.
It's going to be great. But I don't have 30 minutes of questions. So if you have questions, please put in the chat. Preface it with question. Mm-hmm. Ask your question. And Terry's going to take it for you.
Obviously. Otherwise, we're just going to talk about stuff.
We're going to talk about... No, I think we've talked about stuff in the pre-show. All right, are we ready to dive in? Let's do it. Question. How do you know what unused files in the repository you can remove?
Yeah, how do you? There's a cleanup function, isn't there?
There is a cleanup function. So we have it right down there. Currently have 30 unused files, or if there's nothing not linked down there. If you go to the repo, there's the C unused files. Mm-hmm. And the way this works, how it deems something that needs to be cleaned up, is it looks in the repo, and if there is any file that is not attached to a package in any way, this basically it's sitting in there, but it's not tied to a package, it assumes it's good to delete.
Okay.
No matter what. So if we go in here, these are all the files. And this is basically if I download whatever Gizmo package and then delete the package, the files, the remnants are still back there. This lets you know you can delete it. So running it as default, removing everything is most cases good. But if you have something where you're keeping a file, whether for reference material or something, you want to go in and you can exclude specific files or directories. So if we open up this folder, we're going to make a new folder of super important stuff. Where is new? Man, I am terrible at Windows 10 or 11. 11. I'm terrible at what number of Windows I'm on.
Which one are we on?
Stuff I need. So if I went in there and I put a whole bunch of files in the stuff I need folder, I would want to find it in here, which I'm probably going to need to refresh at that point. I'm going to and find the stuff I need is in there, and we do exclude directory. And I don't want to do Chrome, but
you're just going to make sure you don't need this. You're just you're eyeballing it right now.
See if it showed up yet. Probably hasn't. Yeah. So it hasn't done the latest check-in to find that folder's gone, but I'd go and I'd select that folder and say exclude directory. If there's a specific file, I'd exclude that. Mm-hmm. That way I know the files that I know I have to keep are safe, and then everything else that pops up in there, we don't know if you need it or not, but we know that it's not tied to anything that's currently being used.
Okay, so stupid question, Jordan. What if I don't know what I need? Am I just trusting that this knows what I need? I mean, really?
You can trust this to say every file in here is not currently tied to a package.
Okay.
That is as far as it goes. We can't add more logic, but past that.
Okay.
That includes the checkbox for additional files in your packages, right?
If the file is in your repo location, additional files are not. So if your additional files are stored elsewhere, it won't look at that at all. But if those additional files are also in the repo, then if it's not tied to it, then it will. All right.
Can I ask you a follow-up question that I just thought of?
Absolutely.
Are there temp files associated with this ever? Does it generate temp files of any sort?
So everything that's in the repo is part of the package itself. So that's just like the MSR, the executable, or whatever those. Mm-hmm. The temp files, if they were generated, would be generated on the machine you're deploying to.
Oh,
but
okay.
that goes into a directory it makes at the time, and it deletes that directory at the end.
Oh, okay.
To remove those temp files. So there should not be.
Okay. Awesome.
All right, are you ready for question number 2?
Let's do it.
This one starts out as kind of a story, I feel like. We're a small but busy IT group. What recommendations would you have to keep PDQ collections and deployments organized and less cluttered from peer contributors? Maybe include filters with the ability to put tags on items?
So, I'm just a small town sysadmin. But, so the way it works, if you have, depending on your mode, if you are on just enterprise mode, not central server client, everything that's in there that's how it's going to go.
Mm-hmm. You can't separate it.
So if you're in a small shop, you have some options that can mitigate, but it's not going to be ideal, but we can dive with those. Let's start with inventory. All right, so we have here the central server inventory. These are all of our collections we have. We have one in Magic. If I go in server, so if I go over to Bugs Bunny, where it is the client, you can see it has the same things, but we have magic down here on the bottom, so the order is different. So with this one,
sort
whatever
order.
credentials you log in with, I'm saying so a lot. I apologize for the filler words.
So,
The order that you have the collections in will stay customized to the credentials you logged into. So there it goes. There.
But at least you're aware of it, though. A lot of people aren't.
If I rename magic to stuff, because that's apparently what's on my mind, it's going to change over here as well. But if I move it around up here, it's only going to move on the order on this one. But that only changes so you can keep the order that you want. That does not affect the changes. So I changed the name, it changed everywhere. I move it around, it keeps your profile. So
Why not I just
I'm mad.
append it to my name? If I want to have different ones, I say Tara.
So
TS
you can build
dash.
a blank collection. Magic is just a standard one. You could do that. You could rename that to Jordan's stuff and then put the collections you want down below that. That helps separate saying, hey, please don't touch these, but you're still, there's nothing to say they can't touch
Right,
those.
you can't lock them down.
It's a trust your employees on that one. So it gives you a little bit of variation. With Deploy, there's a little bit more because you have the private package. There's nothing in there. But if I go to Deploy over here, we've got the secret sauce in there. You can't see it. So if I move the secret sauce up, it's going to pop up in there. If I move it back down, not actually into it as I'm supposed to, then it disappears. So you can have your own custom packages that are just yours based on your credentials,
Then they
as
can't
long
mess
as you
with
keep
them.
them within that folder. But there's nothing like that for inventory and collections.
What if I just scare them?
I mean,
not to
threats
touch
of
it.
violence always work.
Okay.
That's actually the preferred number go-to method.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Okay.
all right. Next question. Let's go. Is there a reason that you do not add the PDQ Deploy and Inventory client updates to the repository in order for us to save a step when we update our clients?
All right. I'm not going to say so this entire answer.
Okay.
Unless you want to take this one?
No.
Okay.
I want to hear your answer, Jordan.
So-
then I'll
no.
give my answer.
When there is a new version of our product, we do have the link on the bottom here where you can download. There's nothing there because I have the latest version because I'm on top of things, Terry. I saw you looking.
I did. I mean,
I'm a professional.
I was double checking you. It's fine.
So there would be a
It's
link
fine.
there for the download. You can click that and it's download and install it. Does it at that time. It's kind of nice. The reason we kept it there, we didn't worry about the package so much, is back in the early days, and I was the victim of this, a lot of our packaging process was manual. So there was a lot. I said it again. I can't get out of it. Anyway,
Get it together.
Now it's in your head. Don't worry about it.
basically on Patch Tuesday, it would be a large group of employees spending the majority of their day late into the night getting everything updated because
Right.
it was almost 100% manual.
Yeah.
Where we already had the link on the bottom there, we could click on that one. It downloads and installs. That goes faster. That worked. We have now put in a lot of automation. Thank you, Stephen.
Go, Steven.
Yep. That eliminated a lot of that time, which is more secure for the testing, but that's a tangent. There's I think maybe no reason why we couldn't have that. We just haven't reapproached it since the product was put into place. It's definitely something that's worth having a discussion.
Should we pressure Steven or?
Well, Stephen does the automation.
Oh, someone else then.
The package would be Chad, and I did talk to him. He said he is open to the discussion. So it is something that's worth visiting. I just know that before it was just another thing piled onto what was already a very cumbersome process.
Gotcha. Apparently,
getting
there's
sales
a
in the
blog
chat
about
now.
it. Alex said there's a blog about it.
All right.
All right. Next question, boys and girls. Any plans to add a mouse or keyboard capture in the near future? Sincerely, Brandon.
Anderson.
Peripheral capture, is there? I'm going to guess no, but what is it?
I don't know if there's anything on the roadmap. It's kind of an interesting one because that has to go as the logged on user, right? Because someone's got to be logged onto it. You can't run as the system if you're going to be tracking stuff like that. So, I mean, I think it might be possible to build like a PowerShell script that maybe tracks the location of the mouse cursor and all that, but it's
Grab it.
not. I don't. It would be a lot of work for what I don't see a lot of value in. But if someone's requesting, it's.
I'd love to track assets, but I don't know that I would track a keyboard. But I do love to track assets.
Oh,
so
I was
it's
looking at like
interesting.
tracking, not like what was plugged in, but like
Drivers.
location of things. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're talking about tracking what peripherals are plugged in, we are definitely not inventory management for things like that. We're tracking just the core system itself
Yeah.
and the software.
So it's not on the roadmap that we're aware of.
Not that I know of, no. How's that for misunderstanding the question?
All right, next question. We have many people who work remotely, but we don't have a VPN. Is it possible to combine PDQ Connect and Inventory and Deploy? I think they're saying there. Robbie J.
So the short answer is no, but you could buy Connect and work in conjunction with Inventory and Deploy because Connect has the agent that could work for the remote computers.
Yeah, so there's no way to have them communicate with each other as of now. Like if you wanted to keep just like a single license for your local and then just have Connect, the single license is I can't remember what our product costs. It's inexpensive.
Yeah, it is inexpensive. That would be, I think, the bridge license. That'd be the best way to do it.
Yeah, so as far as them working together, I think there was discussions of maybe way down, but it's not on the roadmap that we have published. It's more of a definitely deploying inventory is an agentless on-prem connect. So they are very separate products, but having both, I don't think would be a problem. The packages you built in deploy, you could rebuild and connect. They would work the same.
Yeah.
So having both absolutely would work. It would probably hit the functions that you need.
Yeah.
Hey, Kelly.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that you can, if you have deploy and inventory, you don't have to have a minimum license for Connect. Is that right?
Honestly, I'm not 100% certain on that, but if you get a hold of our sales folks, they can walk you through all of that. I know there are discounts or something available for current PDQ deploy and inventory users, but I don't have all that info in front of me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, definitely look into that, especially if you're a small shop and you only need like a few remote licenses. That might be an option. But again, I swear I heard that, but you'll definitely want to contact the sales team to get the actual information.
We have people in the chat saying that was a beta users only thing, but that's, like I said, that's definitely a sales question because if I'm wrong there.
Yep. Okay, new question. What is your favorite hidden or less known capability of PDQ Deploy that you like to utilize? Jonathan.
Oh man, I wish I'd gotten that question earlier. I would have put so much time
What
into
is your favorite?
I don't know. There's a lot in there. I like that you can, I don't know, probably, I don't know if it's hidden, but works with inventory where I can set custom credentials or in the case of lapse of inventory and have deploy use those credentials without having to put anything separate in.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I really like that. It's probably what I use the most just because, I don't know, I enjoy it very much. But as far as hidden features outside of that,
You know all the little deep, dark pockets.
yeah, I'm just struggling under the gun on that one.
Andrew?
One thing that comes to my mind is custom variables. And it's not that hidden because all of our collections and packages refer to variables.
Yeah.
But for me, whenever I was a customer, once I started using them for my own packages and for my own package versions and whatnot, it was quite a game changer because it's just more efficient. Yeah, you can see here, those are all of our built-in ones, which we use for all of our collections. But then whenever you're creating your collections, you can refer to app ver Google Maps or whatever the program version is. And then whenever you just update it in the variables and it gets updated for all your collections and packages and so on and so forth.
I use these a lot when I do things like automating packages not in the library and things of that nature. That is a fantastic answer.
I don't think that it's hidden, but I will say this, and because I remember I really struggled with this when you guys first told me about it. It's a little hard to wrap your head around at first, but once you get it, you're like, oh, that's amazing. I dig it. But remember when you first told me about it and I was like, what now? Like it took me a second. And then once I finally grasped it, I was like, oh, that's amazing. But yeah, I did have to read up a little bit.
Maybe even more hidden is you could use a regex expression, like the word separated by a pipe, and you could use it as an application whitelist if you do a filter that matches pattern. I've seen that done in a video like years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago on the PDQ channel.
We did that for when WannaCry was popular because we had to track every single possible KB that passed WannaCry.
Yeah.
So we had a variable of WannaCry that was separated by a pipe, which is a giant OR statement. So it says if it has any of these.
Yeah.
So it was just one list. New update would come in, would go in, would add a pipe, put in the new KB. That was very handy because it didn't have to change the logic of our script. We just had to add a pipe and then the new value at the end. So that is very handy.
So the advanced reporting, yeah.
Yeah. The other part that is sort of in the same area as variables is the custom fields, which it's not, because variables are basically, here's a global thing. This stands for the global. The custom field is per machine you can set this value. So if you were tracking something like, if you had a way to, the previous question, mouse and keyboard, and you had a PowerShell scanner that went out, did a sim instance scan and grabbed the keyboard in there, you could capture that data, put that, or import it into a custom field, and it would track a custom field here of all that data. And then you could build your collections based off the custom field. So it's a way to build, I don't know, it's kind of what am I thinking? Like with Active Directory where you can extend the schema and add new fields. It's kind of like extending the schema, only not nearly so complex or dangerous.
I cannot believe neither of you have said anything PowerShell, the PowerShell scanners. You've said none of that.
But the PowerShell scanner is not hidden. That is the reason to be.
Well, that's a good point.
And I think to your point about custom fields, I was going to say that you can really enhance that because you can bring information from different areas in CSV format and get it into inventory. I've used PowerShell for a lot of things to kind of query different systems or whatever, and then generate a CSV and then use some code to import those custom variables or the custom fields into inventory and use it for all kinds of fun stuff. So definitely shout out PowerShell.
And we have someone in the chat saying they use it for custom fields for the acquisition date, so they know when it's a hardware refresh. So
that's nice.
I think those ones, there we go. I just piggybacked off of Andrew and I stole.
You stole his credit.
I had one.
That other guy.
I had one.
Whoever that guy is.
In your face, Andrew.
You got me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ultra Mega Superstar Jordan. All right, moving right along. Next question. This one might be for Andrew or the other guy. Who is PS Noob in the Discord?
Alex, I love you.
Am I the only one who actually knows?
I genuinely do not know.
I have no idea.
Ye old PS noob.
He has to out himself,
I
though.
can't.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, I can't dox him.
He has to out himself. Oh, it'd be so funny if it was Jordan. No, you know how it's not Jordan? Because he's way too social. That's not Jordan.
He's talking to people.
He's talking to people. He's overly helpful. He's super nice guy.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez, Tara is out to kill.
Ruggedly handsome.
But his name is different.
It's everything I'm not.
In Discord.
But if you have not joined our Discord, you really should. It's a good time in there. There's a lot of knowledge that can be had if you've got questions. Everyone's very willing to help. And I think Andrew, there you go. I was just gonna say, can you post that there in the chat? And you already did it. Well done. Okay.
He's not going to out himself. The mystery continues.
Well, I guess Andrew knows, but he
I don't want him to tell
respects
me that.
people's privacy, which is
Unlike me.
how nice. How
I'm
nice
so
for everybody.
nosy.
You're my alter
Jordan
ego.
Salter. It's your other personality.
How angry are you going to be when you find out?
Exactly.
That'd actually be really funny if you were trolling me. Oh my God, that'd be hilarious.
No, I do not know. I don't think we're going to get that answer today.
No, mystery will continue. All right, next question as we roll along. Can you export or save your private packages in Deploy? Sincerely, Thomas the Tank Engine.
Huh. Well, that's interesting since we were talking about. Anyway, I'm not going to say it. Go ahead.
So, yes, because when you export
DFS
something,
and
it just
PowerShell and the.
no, not PowerShell.
No, that DFS thing we're talking about with making your own.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I'm talking about the question that was asked. I was going to answer if that's acceptable.
Yeah, but remember that blog we were talking about with using PowerShell to do distributed file server and exporting that?
Yep. So as far as packages, if you have ones in your private packages, you can just export those just as an XML. That will export all of the settings and preferences you have in there. You would have to resupply the actual install file just because that's not part of the XML. So if you had more than just the secret sauce, you could select multiple, export that as whichever you want. And it's just going to make, if you select 7 or so, it's just going to make one XML all of them. You can import it anywhere you want. It's going to import all of that, but you will have to resupply at that point the install media for it to work.
Got it.
That was quick and easy. All right, next question. Would love to be able to link a notification to a package. For instance, have a package send a notification every time it fails. Sincerely, VWs.
W.
I think it's pronounced Dubias.
Dubias.
So you're looking for, with the package, so when it fails, you want it to not just have the failure in the deployment section here, but you want it to notify you. Mm-hmm. I believe we do have a notification thing set up, but I don't know if it's specifically when it fails, but it will tell you when it is done and the results. So if you come in here, you have to, if you're looking for email and everything, then that's where you set for email. But if you're just looking to do like a collection or based on a schedule, you can have that. Let's go into this old schedule that I disabled a long time ago. See if I can't find it live.
Let's do it.
I'm so terrible when I go into it live. I know there is a spot where I can say, hey, based on the results here.
Send me a quick little email. Say yes or no.
I believe on the deploy
Notifications
ones
right
or
there.
in the schedule
Configure email.
window.
Options tab.
Options.
You're there.
options.
It's just right there. Send email. Configure email.
Okay. There we go. I'm still not seeing it.
Down. Oh,
No
to the right.
notifications. Okay. So that is where the notifications are. That will set up the email when it's done or not.
And
Looks
tell
like
you the status.
I like how Mike's in there trying to handle
He's like,
me
go
to
over
it.
there, right there.
I'm looking right at it. But so as far as the title goes, the overall success, that would be difficult because it's you have to set the title based on, you can do it based on variables and everything, but you have set there. So to have the title put in there out of 32 deployments, 31 were successful, you
Like
would
the
have
subject
to
line.
you would have to have some sort of query that would go in there and query the SQL database for that one, grab the successful versus unsuccessful, capture that number, put them into variables, and then have that do the
Populated
math.
in there. Oh.
Like it would be a long, drawn-out process to make that kind of change. But you can put any variable you can think of, you can put it into the title. But to have that title update at the end of the deployment would be an undertaking. And,
You're going to go figure it out, though, aren't you?
I think there may be a built-in way to do it, or one of the built-in ones may have it already set up for that.
Oh, yeah. Chris says it's built in. I have that on all of mine. Thought it was built
well,
in.
the percentage, I had no idea on that one.
I'm not sure if it's a percentage necessarily, or just like failed.
On the
/
email, it will
succeeded
list it
or
on
total.
all the machines on the deployment and say if it passed or
Let's
failed.
go schedule full details. Let's actually take a look at the. That's taking a while to open.
Oh, it's slow.
What you do?
Doing it
Come on,
live.
man.
There we go. All right.
Oh, there.
So there's the subject where you're grabbing $sign schedule
Yep.
name. Oh, it does have success rate right there. And
Bam!
actually, it is a built-in variable. Here I was overthinking it, trying to work around
You
it.
said you loved variables, so you called it.
Yeah. So apparently, yeah, it's right there.
Sweet.
Well, that was easy.
Boy, did I make that more complicated.
You pulled a Terra. That's what I do.
That's the most offensive thing. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
Yeah, so yeah, built-in. So yeah, I went off the rails without actually looking at the built-in variables they had, and apparently it grabs by default, and I just had to actually open up the notifications.
Well, there you go.
So if you have these notifications set up, you can. That's where you had the two. You have to make sure you set up the mail settings. It will email you at the end, and apparently give you all the data you're looking for.
Sweet. Look, there's a whole bunch of them. Dang.
I'm glad I could waste people's time.
Good. Me too. I like it, though. We learned something.
Yeah, that's right. We have a better understanding of the process now.
We learned together.
So I guess I don't know everything.
Nobody does, Jordan.
All right, we have others. Let's do this.
All right, more questions. Let's keep them rolling. Is there a reason package names don't update? For example, my Windows 10 22H2 package is still named Windows 10 2004-2009, even though it's current. Sincerely, Billy Z.
That feels like a bug to me,
That
not
does
expected
too.
behavior, because it should be whatever is relevant. Mm-hmm. Even if they change the name of the next update, that should update. So
Yeah.
can you open up a ticket with support, please? Because I feel like the expected behavior is it should be updating. So if it's not for you, we want to definitely take a look at that. Which is not the answer we're looking for, but
That's an answer.
yeah, that feels. I agree with Bill. That feels wrong.
Yeah, that would be super annoying to me. Marcel knows everything, but he's traveling home, says Alex.
Yeah, he is on a plane right now. All right, new question. Will PDQ ever have a swag/merch store? Sincerely, Jason S.
Will we, Kelly?
Unlikely.
So I know we dabbled with Teespring a bit ago. That never really took off.
That's so weird because everyone seems to want swag. Why?
No, not okay. So here's what happens because I have some experience with these things.
Oh, that's right.
With
You
swag
do.
stores.
You do.
What happens is you do have people that will say, hey, I want your merch, want your merch, want your merch. It's a relatively small group that would be willing to actually purchase the merch. Once they do, when you start the store, you see an initial spike. You'll have like 20 orders. Those are the people that want the merch. After that, boom, it drops. And then it just sits there. And yeah, they're never as cool as people think.
So
They just aren't.
I do know, like the rug we have up front there. For a while, we could buy that blanket. I bought that blanket. I love that blanket, but I think I was one of 2 people.
Yeah.
We made a T-shirt of me looking grumpy with Yoda ears.
I have it.
My wife wears that shirt because she thinks it's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
But I mean, I think in those cases, we sold 2 of each one of those because we don't really market it. And I think you're right, that kind of fades. So I don't believe there will be a merch store.
How about if we do it on a trial basis, Kelly, and I'll run it?
All right. We'll discuss this.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
Okay, so just circling back to the Bill question about the package names for the Windows updates, I don't believe those names will update monthly so much as you'll want to look at the version to tell which version of the package it is, because those are auto-updating packages.
I agree with that, but I think over time the name did change from the 2009 to 22 issue. I think there was a core change with the naming thing, so the
I got
package
you.
didn't, but that didn't update within his package, I believe.
I misunderstood the question. My apologies.
Yeah.
When the solutions guys came, they all wanted the rug.
Oh yeah,
When they
it's a
toured the
great rug.
studios, they wanted the
I have it
rug.
as a blanket. It's a fantastic blanket.
All right. New question. Many of my deployments have a red exclamation point preceding the name. What is causing that? David N.
There are many possibilities for that one, but the red exclamation point means there is something that the package can't resolve. Most often, the file or the executable you're pointing to was moved or deleted, is what we see the most often. If it's an auto download one, we've seen that where there was an error with the latest update, and you may have to delete and reinstall that one or re-download that one to get that gone. But the red exclamation point just means there is something that the PDQ can't resolve wrong with that package. But the variety of what that could be is it's all over the map. But the most common I've seen is the media we're pointing to was moved, renamed, or deleted.
So ticket
Yeah, hover
or
your mouse over the red exclamation mark to get an idea of what exactly you're seeing, though.
All right. You ready for the final question of the day?
Let's do it.
Okay. Is there a way to initiate an add computers network discovery via the command line for PDQ Deploy? Use case for this are VPN connected workstations, which can change IPs. Derek K.
So add computers to deploy, not to inventory, because I'm a little bit confused on this one because there is the DNS scavenging that they put in there for inventory that will make the list of all the computers. But if he's looking to manually update what's deploying to, I don't know of a command line for that one. So
Yeah, I think they'll want to look to DNS for this, for their use case.
That's what everyone in the chat's chiming in. Yep, it's DNS. Got to be DNS.
it's always DNS.
yeah, so
Also, yeah, it wouldn't work.
Yeah. So there is a network scanner for inventory that will go through and find based on the IP there. But if it's not updating in DNS, we're going to pull whatever is in there. And there's nothing for deploy that's going to make that search. Because deploy does great work, but deploy is dumb.
Yeah, inventory is the brain.
Yeah, so every time that we're grabbing these machines, unless you're statically typing in, it's pulling from inventory to get that information. So if you're looking to update what's wrong, the first place you're going to want to look is inventory, not deploy. It's most likely going to be a DNS issue. If you can get that fixed, you can have a collection that's built based of machines that are in there that you know were VPN connected. And then you're probably, I mean, it gets more complex from that because then you have to refresh and flush DNS. But it's the solution to this is more like outside of fixing DNS is going to have inventory track that, not deploy, and then have deploy just point to the collection you built. But there's so many variables for that. I couldn't build out live.
Well,
Jason's got a good comment here. He says, under tools and inventory, I also added flush DNS to the tools list so I can quickly run it before a deployment.
Yeah. Because, I mean, am I misinterpreting? It's not really a problem with DNS. It's just they're connected to VPN and their IP address changes. So you just want the correct IP address before you push the deployment. Is that correct?
Yeah, so in that case, I'm assuming the tool is flush DNS for the local server, which updates all of that, which that would work there, but then you're still going to want to, I don't know, like re-heartbeat or rescan to make sure that all those machines get updated as well. So flush DNS, then scan, then deploy will have the updated list.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But if your DNS is out of whack through VPN, there's no direct great solution.
Yeah, because you're not fixing it necessarily. It is what it is. That's what's going to happen if you have machines coming in off and on your network all the time.
There is a helpful in Windows on the adapter on the VPN that you can set, which is like register this device or this computer in DNS when connecting or something like that. And that may also be a setting that this person's missing. And it's worth looking into. But I'll put some links to blogs about healthy DNS that we've written that'll kind of give you some places to go.
Yeah, and someone in there said they mentioned that they have it running every 5 minutes, which for smaller environments that could work. But if you're getting into the hundreds or thousands, you can't do that every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So when it comes, if you're looking to, like, your scavenging's not good enough for the VPN you have, you can use PowerShell to go out and just really enforce the scavenging, but that's
Big Brother.
That's not ideal. But you can do that as I think I wrote a script that did that. It goes to the DNS server and it wipes out anything that is, I'm going to say, over like 2 minutes old since it registered, and it has everything re-register. It's very aggressive.
It's very aggressive. Yeah.
So I wouldn't recommend that. The big solution is scavenging on DNS. When VPN checks in, it should be updating on your DNS. If it's not, there's something to fix there first.
Okay.
We actually have one last question that just snuck in. Mike B. would like to know, is there a difference between using the built-in restart step versus a restart computer force versus shutdown RT0 blah blah?
I mean, no. I think with the restart step, you have the option to like have it pop up a message.
Yeah, can the user delay
you can send them a message that pops up before it reboots if you want to give them 30 seconds, which you can do in PowerShell as well. But if you're looking for a quick reboot where you send them the message saying, hey, we're doing this, I think that's the fastest method. If you're just looking for, I'm rebooting this and I'm rebooting it now.
And you have no say.
Take your pick, whichever one. All right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Hopefully, we had some good answers here. I felt like I missed the mark a lot today, but I forgive myself because I'm worth it.
You are.
For PDQ, I'm Jordan.
I'm Tara.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Robbie J., winner of PDQ Swag. Why? Well, because Robbie submitted the question early, and those people were qualified for swag, so well done. Send us your email and all your info at webcast@pdq.com. Please like and subscribe and leave us your comments, why don't you? Have a great week. We'll see you back here next time. Bye-bye.